Africa's largest democracy on the move with 27 years of unbroken governance, President Tinubu gives account of stewardship, honors heroes.
Today, our diversity sustains our democracy. The road ahead is steep, but June 12 reminds us, Nigeria do not break.
Power sector probe. Stakeholders at summit push for amendments to Electricity Act. Special courts to prosecute vandals.
NEC and NISO should put in place ancillary services to guarantee network efficiency.
Plus, 2026 World Day Against Child Labor focus shifts to accelerating action and commitments to ending child exploitation.
Every child deserves the right to education, deserves the right to good medical attention.
Good evening. Happy Democracy Day to all Nigerians, home and abroad. I'm Lami Ali, and you're watching NTA Network News. Tonight, as we mark 27 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, we bring you the stories making headlines from politics to the economy and, of course, sports. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibu has latest developments from the nation's commercial capital. Benny Adams joins with trending deals from the business world and other updates. So, Benny, what's new tonight?
Well, it's cheering news to announce the fact that £15 million free grants come into Nigeria's economy. Follow to know from where and for what.
All right, in the sports corner, Badi Adeleye is standing by with breaking stories, major results, and everything new in the world of sports. Badi, what should we expect viewers to have tonight?
Well, I mean, it's the second day at the World Cup. Another opening ceremony, and of course, a shock result could be on the cards.
Also heard exclusive reports, special analysis, and expert perspectives on the issues driving conversations. Remember, you can join us online on nta.ng/live and on other social media platforms. Our addresses are there on your screen. Thank you for joining us. Now, let's begin with Democracy Day celebrations. President Bola Tinubu has cautioned bandits, kidnappers, and sponsors of terror to give up and surrender arms to avoid facing what he called the full force of the Nigerian state. The president gave the warning in his June 12 broadcast commemorating the 27th anniversary of Nigeria's democracy. State House correspondent Musbah Al-Wahab reports.
Fellow Nigerians, 27 years ago, many doubted democracy would survive here because of our diversity. Today, our diversity sustains our democracy. The road ahead is steep, but June 12 reminds us, Nigeria do not break. We bend, we bleed, but we do not break.
27 years and still counting since the return of democracy in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu reflects on the journey so far and projects for the one still ahead. Salute again to the courage of those who struggled for the return of the civil rule, including the winner of the 1993 June 12 presidential election, late MKO Abiola, his late widow, Kudirat Abiola, and others in the struggle, the departed and those still living. In another mark of honor, President Tinubu announced conferment of national awards to new sets of notable Nigerians who suffered persecution in the process. The list includes Ayoka Lawani, current Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, Chief Ralph Obiora, and Jenkins Alumona. Amongst the soldier Democrats recognized for the June 12 struggle are the Etsunupe, Brigadier Yahya Abubakar, former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, Olugbede of Gbede Kingdom, Colonel Olusegun Oloruntoba, Major General Chris Eze, and Brigadier Jonathan Temlong.
Every generation as a defining responsibility. The generation of our founding fathers secured independence. The generation of June 12 secured democracy. Our generation must secure prosperity. Let us move forward together, rejecting division, cynicism, and despair, embracing unity, hope, and confidence. Let us build a Nigeria united by a common purpose, strengthened by diversity, where justice is accessible, liberty is secure, and opportunity is abundant.
However, President Tinubu, who emphasized on the importance of security for the survival of democracy, highlighted recent successes recorded by the country in the fight against all forms of insecurity across Nigeria.
Though this year's mood is dampened by the abduction of our children in Oyo and Borno, we remain hopeful for their safe return. Democracy without security is not solid enough. To bandits, kidnappers, and sponsors of terror, surrender or face the full force of the Nigerian state. These windows of surrender will not remain open forever. No mercy will be shown to those who trade in blood of Nigerians.
The president promises his administration's resolve to build on the unfolding gains of reforms, agricultural and infrastructural developments, with particular emphasis on the power sector.
In the coming days, Ekiti and Osun states will hold elections. I urge INEC, security agencies, and all parties to ensure these polls are peaceful and credible. Democracy fails when citizens doubt the process.
President Tinubu commended agencies of governments, leaders and individuals upholding the peace and unity of the country.
May God continue to bless
From the State
us
House,
all.
Musbao and Wahab,
Happy
NT News.
Democracy Day.
Still on June 12, students across the Federation have organized rallies and seminars to commemorate Nigeria's Democracy Day, marking 27 years of uninterrupted democratic governance. They also threw their weight behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for making democracy work for students, highlighting the impact of student-focused policies, particularly the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NELFund. Here is the report from across the nation.
Nigerian students are commemorating this year's Democracy Day by appreciating President Bola Tinubu for his impactful reforms in the education sector. Blessing Omete Ebute reports that students in Makurdi are commending the president for his education-focused policies.
Students who were dropped out of the university because of the issues of our tuition fees, they have been able to regain their independence of coming back.
Social that issue of the upkeep, it helped a lot of us to do some other things that we were also finding them difficult to.
And from Yola, over 10,000 university students have benefited from the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, as reported by Mary Adamu George.
We thank Mr. President for this NELFund. Because it enables each and every student, no matter your condition, to study everywhere in Nigeria.
Similarly, students in Dutse organized a lecture themed, "Thank you, President Bola Tinubu, for making democracy work for students," as reported by Mohammed Musa Askira.
I wish the president will continue to invest in education because the future of this country lies on education.
Aminu Umar from Kano reports that students are reflecting on the gains of democratic governance, appreciating the president for easing their financial burdens.
Many of us face financial challenges that can affect their academic journey. I would say I am standing as a living testimony. If not for this initiative, I would have dropped out of the university in my level 200.
And from Zaria, Lawal Sallo Inua reports that students applaud the commitment of the president, ensuring students are not left out but prioritized.
We used to have a lot of problems where students fail to pay for tuition fees, where mostly we have to pay from our own pockets for them. And most of the times we do crowdfunding. But now, thanks to the introduction of NEL funds, that problem is a history now.
For many students in Borno State, the dream of higher education is becoming a reality through government-backed interventions, as reported by Tina Toro.
Poor families and their children have access to quality education, have access and opportunities to go to universities to study their dream courses.
For the introduction of NEL funds, the total number of Raman Polytechnic are very, very few.
And Dauda Mohammed reports that students in Mina celebrated Democracy Day with a walk and interactive session to show appreciation to the president for changing their lives. From Sokoto, Abdullahi Umar Ilalu reports that students are commending President Bola Tinubu for helping many young Nigerians overcome financial barriers in their academic pursuit.
I have friends whom before they have to look for a construction site, work as a laborers for them to be able to fend for themselves in school. But with the emergence of NEL Fund, the establishment of this scheme, it has actually helped them to concentrate on their studies.
And from Gombe, university students are hailing President Tinubu for the NEL Fund initiative. Zenred Dingmoon, NTA News.
Thank you, Zenred. An investigative documentary and political thriller titled MKO receives its world premiere in international competition at Sheffield Dogfest, United Kingdom today. June 12, 2026, hosted in the northern English city of Sheffield, widely recognized as one of the world's most influential documentary and non-fiction festivals, and in Nigeria, Canada, and USA. A young journalist working for Africa's biggest-selling weekly paper, published by MKO Abiola Ose Oyamendan, gathers voices from all sides of this chapter, commemorating the democratic election of Moshood Kashimau Olawale Abiola, a billionaire businessman and media mogul, on June 12, 1993, an election annulled by the military. The investigative documentary flashes back on the story of the June 12 struggle, the death of Chief Abiola, and efforts to unravel the mystery that remains inconclusive. Now, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum has assured that by May 29, 2027, he will hand over a more secure, stable and prosperous Borno State to the next administration. The governor gave the assurance while distributing food and non-food items to internally displaced persons at Madinatu IDP camp in Jere local government area as part of activities marking Democracy Day. Mohammed Goni reports.
No fewer than 2,500 beneficiaries received 25 kg bags of rice and sorghum, while women were provided with clothing materials in addition to the food items. Governor Zulum further directed that each beneficiary be credited with 50,000 naira as part of the state's social support program. The beneficiaries expressed appreciation to the governor for what they describe as a timely intervention.
I want to commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, DSS and other security agencies, police and other security agencies, for recently rescuing about 434 of our abducted women and children from Gosha and other communities in Borno State.
The governor assured residents of Borno State that ongoing efforts will continue to secure the release of all citizens still in captivity, particularly those from Dile, Musa and Chibok communities. He also announced plans to close the Medinatu IDPs camp and other camps located in various local government areas before the end of his tenure as part of the government's resettlement and rehabilitation program aimed at returning displaced persons to their ancestral communities. Director General of the State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Isa, informed the governor that all IDPs in the Medinatu camp have been profiled in preparation for their resettlement. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Now, in other news, Cross River Market women have shown support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Basi Otu, pledging unity and diligence to drive grassroots growth and national development. The endorsements came during the launch of the Cross River Market Women Forum for Greatness in Calabar by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who describes women as central to the renewed hope agenda, emphasizing that economic inclusion for women builds stronger families and more resilient communities. The First Lady was represented by the wife of the Cross River State Governor, Mrs. Eyohanwan Otu. Justina Etim reports.
The launch of the Cross River Market Women Forum for Greatness and the mega rally that followed signals growing support for both President Tinubu and Governor Otu among women-led business groups in Cross River states.
That this forum seeks to unite market women under a common vision of progress, cooperation, and empowerment. When women are supported to succeed in business, families are strengthened, communities become more resilient, and the foundations of sustainable development are reinforced.
Any of you will never go collect your voter's card. This is the time to go and get your voter's card. Because without that voter's card, you cannot vote for the sweet prince of Africa. No, so. Without that voter's card, you cannot vote for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Since the emergence of this forum from the inception of your tenure, the Market Women Forum has been aided in terms of entrepreneurial training, empowerment of more than 4,000 market women.
When they tell us come out, vote, support our leaders, this is the first time I'm benefiting as a market woman.
Gift items, including cash grants, were also presented to the women to enable them grow and expand their businesses. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
Now to the ongoing power sector probe. The House of Representatives at a committee on power sector reforms has ended its stakeholder summit in Lagos, recommending amendments of the Electricity Act and establishment of special courts for speedy prosecution of power infrastructure vandals and other related offences in the sector. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
4 days of intense brainstorming on the power sector reforms. Challenges confronting the electricity value chain. Stakeholders profile solutions at the end of the 8 thematic groups initiated by the committee. They include policy and reform issues in the future of a deregulated power sector, the state electricity market, liquidity and tariff-related challenges, the gas to power, as well as the role of the Petroleum Industry Act, among other issues that will turn around the sector for good.
The summit observed that despite significant reforms and privatization efforts, the Nigerian electricity supply industry continues to face operational, financial, regulatory, and infrastructural challenges. TCN should be forced to complete all the critical and viable projects before embarking on fresh ones. NEC and NISO should put in place ancillary services to guarantee network efficiency. MDAs owing discos are encouraged to be deducted from source after due diligence and reconciliations.
If we want to get it right, we must fund the transmission company to ensure that they are able to put in place all that is required to ensure reliability in the sector.
The committee is expected to submit its report at plenary for consideration. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
This is News at 9 on NTA. Time to take a short break. The news continues after these messages. Stay with us. You're welcome back. The Renewed Hope Ambassadors, in collaboration with the Presidential Media Team, will commence the Southeast edition of the Renewed Hope National Media Tour on June 13, 2026 in Ebonyi State, to conclude in Imo State on June 17th. The 5-day inspection tour will cover Ebonyi, Enugu, Anambra, Abia and Imo States, providing journalists and editors with first-hand access to key projects and programs being implemented under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. A statement by the Director of Media and Publicity of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, Tunde Rahman, says more than 50 editors and journalists from across the country are expected to participate in the tour. The media tour serves as a platform for promoting factual reporting, strengthening government media relations, and enhancing public understanding of the impact of federal government's policies and interventions. A similar tour was recently conducted in the Northwest, where journalists inspected major projects including the Kaduna-Kano-Katsina-Maradi Railway, the Sokoto-Badagry Highway Corridor in Kebbi State, the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Highway, irrigation schemes in Jigawa, and ecological intervention projects in Kano. The future of every nation rests on the well-being, education and protection of its children. Child development experts say investing in children today is critical to building stable, productive and prosperous societies tomorrow. As the world commemorates the 2026 International Day Against Child Labor with the theme, Red Card to Child Labor, Fair Play for Children, Decent Work for Adults, renewed calls are being made on governments, employers and workers' organizations, civil society groups, communities and individuals to intensify efforts to eliminate child labor in all its forms. Here is Joseph Otsen with the reports.
These children should be in classrooms, learning and preparing for their future. Instead, many of them can be found digging in mining sites, carrying heavy loads at construction sites, or working long hours on farms. Such practices violate International Labour Organization Conventions 138 and 182, which sets the minimum age for employment and prohibits the worst forms of child labor.
Child labor is a sin against humanity. It's a sin against the future of a country, and we absolutely align with all ILO protocols, decisions, programs that has to do with the issue of child labor.
The United Nations estimates that 138 million children worldwide are engaged in child labor. In Nigeria, the National Child Labor Survey indicates that about 14 million children are engaged in hazardous forms of labor. At this year's International Labour Conference in Geneva, delegates emphasized the need for effective monitoring systems to identify vulnerable children and support their families before they are drawn into exploitative work.
Combining workplace interventions with community-based support can significantly reduce the risk of children entering labor.
The point in that declaration is about first the commitment of the government to show commitment, and Nigeria has shown that commitment.
Every child deserves the right to education, deserves the right to good medical attention.
Now, Nigeria has developed a comprehensive child labor policy. What is left now is the launch of the program and full implementation to protect the Nigerian child. From Geneva, Switzerland, I'm Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
And here in Nigeria, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says no child should be subjected to forced labor or denied the opportunity to learn, grow and achieve their dreams. In her message marking this year's World Day Against Child Labor with the theme, Red Card to Child Labor, Fair Play for Children, Decent Work for Adults, the First Lady notes the needs for the country to reaffirm commitment to protecting every child's right to safety, education, dignity and well-being, emphasizing that children belong in homes, classrooms, playgrounds and safe environments where they can grow and thrive. She calls for sustained investment in their well-being, opportunities that empower families and communities to take care of them, while urging Nigerians to work together for a promising future by raising a red card against child labor. Stakeholders have advocated stringent legislative action in combating child labor and recruitment in armed conflicts across Nigeria. This came to the fore during a policy dialogue workshop on strategies against child recruitment, organized by the Legislative Center for Security Analysis, NILS, in collaboration with Exeter Center for Research in Africa, University of Exeter. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Child exploitation in situations of armed conflict remains one of the most troubling dimensions of insecurity in Nigeria and in the sub-region. Against this backdrop, the two institutes brought the idea of policy dialogue to chart ways with lawmakers in strengthening legal frameworks, improve oversight of security institutions, and support agencies responsible for child protection.
Let me reiterate that the challenge before us is significant, but it is not insurmountable.
And the recruitment of these young men and women into terrorism, cults, and violent groups has its roots in the failure of the state to make sure that the economy and society works and that there is a future.
So one of the things we need to look at are the intersections between local specific challenges and these broader global trends and developments.
Key players are optimistic that collaboration between security agencies, social services, civil society organizations, and international partners, Nigeria and other African countries could overcome the challenge. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Alleviating the financial gaps for small businesses through online capital provision in the country is what the Development Bank of Nigeria aims to sustain. This formed part of discourse at the 5th Technical Summit of the bank held in Lagos, where budding Nigerian tech entrepreneurs were enlightened and empowered. Lanre Gbeleyi, who was at the summit, brings us the details.
Year on year, the Development Bank of Nigeria, DBN, brings together active participants in the nation's medium and small-scale enterprises. It is another summit in the tech space with the theme Innovate to Capital, which is basically how to bring innovation and back it up with finance.
We continue to provide access to capital, access to markets, access to network for our young entrepreneurs. Job creation is also at the forefront of what we do at Development Bank of Nigeria. The mantra now is jobs, jobs, jobs for the young people, looking at reducing unemployment, ensuring our youths are gainfully employed.
This is a tech conference, so technology is transcending borders, and so this is an opportunity for us to unleash our potential, not just in Africa, not just in the Caribbean, but the world.
Speakers and panel discussants spoke extensively on financial inclusion for tech businesses and tech entrepreneur innovative designs upscale. DBN encouraged 30 tech entrepreneurs to submit their business models, where 10 finalists pitched their businesses. The 3 winners were picked after an on-the-spot vote, with Best Tech Business awarded 10 million naira.
This money would go a long way in helping us, pay for salaries, also set up warehouses across Kano, and other states that we are operating in.
Very excited about this opportunity. I believe that with this, we'll be able to get our platform back to life. We've been offline for a couple of months now.
The summit is born out of the conviction that innovation, coupled with financing and capital, is a very useful and impactful pathway to Nigeria's economic development. In Lagos, Lanre Gbeleyi, NTA News.
Let me now hand you over to Awal with more stories in Lagos. Hello, Awal.
Happy Democracy Day to you, Lami, and to all of our viewers out there, and welcome to Lagos. Kaloha, Nigeria, the authorized importer and franchise holder of Chery vehicles in Nigeria, has officially launched the all-new Chery Tiggo 9 plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, PHEV. Lynn Leneke reports that Kaloha also announced the forthcoming introduction of the Chery Q brand into the Nigerian market.
We gather to celebrate innovation, style, smart technology,
That unveiling ceremony marks the introduction of Chery's latest flagship SUV and its next-generation mobility solutions to the Nigerian market. The Chery Tego 9 PHEV is designed to redefine the premium SUV segment by combining luxury, intelligent technology, advanced safety systems, and efficient hybrid performance.
Hello, Chery.
Please continue.
Open sunroof.
Sorry.
Managing Director Chery Central Africa expressed enthusiasm about the introduction of the Tego 9 PHEV.
Nigeria market is almost the #1 in Africa. For us, we have to launch the latest technology to this market for people to have a better experience.
The sales director of Kaluha, Nigeria, and the company's after-sales manager noted that the Tego 9 PHEV offers customers a unique combination of luxury performance, safety, and sustainability.
Purchasing this vehicle, you stand to enjoy 6 years warranty, 6 years free maintenance, and 7 days promise. The 7 days promise means if we cannot fix the car within the next 7 days that the car comes into the garage, we will offer you a courtesy vehicle. On the area of maintenance, you have no issue, you have no problem. And this car is good for everywhere, even on water.
Highlight of the event was the appearance of Chery's humanoid robot named Kemi and the intelligent robo-dog, demonstrating Chery's vision for the future of smart mobility and artificial intelligence. Kaluha, Nigeria, also used the platform to announce plans to introduce Chery Q, the next generation new energy vehicle brand, into Nigeria. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
NPF Microfinance Bank has reaffirmed its commitment to delivering value to shareholders and enhance financial inclusion. This was the focus at the bank's annual general meeting and presentation of its 2025 annual report and accounts, where shareholders reviewed the institution's performance and endorsed key resolutions for the future. Diana Ajale tells us more.
Directors, management staff, shareholders, and other stakeholders of the NPF Microfinance Bank converged on Lagos for the bank's annual general meeting and presentation of the 2025 annual report and accounts.
The financial statements.
The chairman of the board highlighted the bank's resilience in navigating economic challenges, noting that prudent management and strategic investments contributed to the improved operational performance during the year under review.
We are able to weather the storm, and we continue to revolve. And the only language shareholders want is dividend, which we will be able to do.
This is a very good, peaceful gathering. Therefore, I recommend that more people should come in.
The managing director stated that the bank recorded notable achievements in key areas, increased digital banking adoption, and enhanced customer service delivery.
80 to 85% of our active customers are on our mobile app. 90 to 95% are on USSD.
Our key value is to make sure that we give our stakeholders, shareholders, the best value that they can get.
Shareholders commended the board and management for the positive performance recorded.
Shareholders are very delighted because last year we were paid 15 kobo and this year we are paid 20 kobo.
The 20 kobo out of 48 kobo earning per share is still okay.
Resolutions presented at the meeting include the adoption of the 2025 audited financial statements and reports, which were unanimously approved by shareholders, and reappointment of directors. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Well, that's it from Lagos. Business guru Benny Adams will bring us business news when we return from the break. Don't go away.
Well, it's time to talk business. I'll start by telling you that the UK Minister for Africa and International Development, Baroness Jenny Chapman, has concluded a 2-day visit to Nigeria, during which she announced a new £15 million growth program. deepened cooperation on digital transformation and health, and also visited communities benefiting directly from UK investment on ground. The visit spanning Abuja and Kaduna underscores the breadth and depth of the UK-Nigeria strategic partnership and marks a significant step towards both countries' shared priorities. Meeting with Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, both parties agreed to, in the next 3 years, accelerate economic transformation, unlock private investment, and support Nigeria's transition from macroeconomic stabilization to sustained reform-led growth. The growth program also seeks a deeper collaboration on delivering digital governance reforms across 5 Nigerian states, reducing regulatory barriers and enabling greater investment and innovation in broadband, digital services, and emerging technology. This announcement builds on significant existing UK economic engagement in Nigeria, with nearly $800 across agriculture, renewable energy, and manufacturing. Now, on a cheering note, SpaceX has officially priced its stock market listing at $135 per share. The IPO has raised a record $75 billion for the rocket, as well as the AI firm, and sees it valued at $1.77 trillion. That immediately makes it one of the world's most valuable firms and makes founder Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Shares in the company immediately started trading this Friday on the Nasdaq. Whether $135 is the right price, however, that's another matter. But analyst Nicholas Owens is among those who think it looks high.
Average of a range of scenarios that can be as high as 154 if you believe everything will go right and data centers in space are highly competitive, or as low as $40 a share if you really are just getting the rockets and Starlink and the AI doesn't work out, so to speak.
You know, while the other aerospace companies, they build good rockets and everything, they were simply not pursuing the technology that's necessary to make life multiplanetary. To make Star Trek, to make the exciting science fiction futures that we've read about real. And that's what SpaceX is all about.
Well, that is it on business for the weekend. Lami, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Benny, for the business updates. And now we take security stories. Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah has lauded the DSS, Nigerian Army and Nigeria Police for their role in securing the Southeast after inspecting arms recovered from ESN commanders. DSS operatives supported by troops of the 82 Division raided an ESN armory on Tuesday and seized 1 rocket launcher, 2 RPG warheads, 3 RPG charges, 11 AK-47 rifles, 610 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition and NYSC uniforms. Governor Mbah, accompanied by the military and police commanders, said the diligence of security agencies prevented terrorists from wreaking havoc and creating false impressions about insecurity in the region. He urged Nigerians, regardless of political or religious differences, to support President Bola Tinubu's efforts to tackle insecurity. Another major breakthrough in the fight against arms trafficking has led to the arrest of a suspected weapons courier and the recovery of high-caliber arms by the Kano State Security Service. The intelligence-driven operation carried out along the Gezawa axis of the state led to the interception of the suspect, Abubakar Muhammad, who was allegedly conveying the weapons from Megatari in Jigawa State to Funtua in Katsina State. Muhammad Ibrahim's report is here presented.
Following actionable intelligence, operatives arrested a suspected arms trafficker and recovered sophisticated weapons believed to be intended for criminal elements. A search of the Volkswagen station wagon driven by the suspect led to the recovery of 3 AK-47 rifles, 4 rocket-propelled grenade, launch tubes, and 2 magazines concealed in the vehicle. Speaking to journalists, the suspect Abubakar Muhammad, who identified himself as a driver, said he was contracted to transport the weapons and was promised 450,000 naira upon successful delivery. The Kano State Security Service says investigations are underway to ascertain the source of the weapons and identify those behind the alleged arms trafficking operation. The service adds that efforts are ongoing to apprehend other suspects linked to the case and dismantle the network responsible for the movement of the arms.
The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, warns the public against the unauthorized use of its name, logo, and official identity on social media, websites, and other platforms, stating that such act is fraudulent and illegal. In a statement by the management, Northeast Development Commission stated that such actions violate the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023, Cybercrimes Act 2015, and the Trademarks Act. Offenders will face civil litigation, criminal prosecution, and regulatory sanction. The Commission says it will not be liable for any transaction or engagement with unauthorized persons using its identity. This is news at 9. We still have some stories, but we have to bring you another set of messages. Do stay tuned.
Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil? Every time you enjoy your favorite meal?
But let's have the update in the match between Canada and Bosnia.
It's 1-1 at the moment. But you know what? Let's begin from the horse racing course as the Zaria edition of the Renewed Hope International Horse Racing Derby enters day 3 on Saturday as the fight for honors and top prizes intensifies. No less than 20 races have been contested so far, with eminent personalities from within and outside the ancient city of Zaria among the spectators. Lawasa Lauinua reports that Sali Amani from Niger Republic was among the winners of one of the 9 horses on day 2.
People coming from different places, including Niger Republic and other neighboring countries, which shows there is peace in Nigeria, there is peace in Zaria. Racing Federation, the Northern Turf Club, and other horse racing to fix, the race course. You can see the pavilion here. We're making efforts quite all right.
And of course, straight to Canada now, as Canada hosted its official 2026 FIFA World Cup opening ceremony at the Toronto Stadium earlier this evening. The spectacular 90-minute pre-match show took place just before Canadian men's national team made their historic tournament debut against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The ceremony was the set along with a special appearance by Canadian actor and comedian Will Arnett. Immediately after that, coast Canada, and of course they took to the pitch and are currently taking on Bosnia-Herzegovina in their opening match of the World Cup. Bosnia shocked the Toronto crowd when Jovo Lukic shot them into the lead in the 21st minute, with Canada wasting loads of scoring chances. The last time we checked, it was 1-1 after Larin equalized for the Canadians. And of course, matches are live on NTA Sports and NTA Network. And of course, that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Lami.
Thank you, Buddy, for the update. Vice President Kashim Shettima was among hundreds of mourners who observed the funeral prayer for the late Emir of Ngazargamu, Alhaji Tijani Sale Gaidam, at the Yobe Mosque and Islamic Center in Damaturu. Shettima was in Yobe State on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to commiserate with the government and good people of Yobe State and by extension the Northeast over the Emir's death. Conveying the President's condolence, the Vice President prayed Allah to grant him eternal rest and reward him with Jannatul Firdaus.
He led a good life. He was a symbol of unity, peace, and progress. He was an advocate of education as a tool for social enhancement. He lived well. He died honorably, and may Allah grant his soul eternal rest.
The Vice President also paid a larger grant to the family, the government and people of Yobe State and by extension Borno State the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Late Emir died in Egypt last Monday after a protracted illness. And that does it on the news for tonight. We thank you for watching. I'm Lami Ali. Do have a wonderful evening and a good weekend.